Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Gabriel Cox and I equip first-time supervisors with necessary leadership tools. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to head on over to my website and subscribe for a free resource. The ultimate guide to identifying what type of leader you are in 5 easy steps. While you are there, you can check out my Goat Locker, which is a place where you can get free tools to help you develop as a supervisor. Hey, what's going on everyone? It's been a long time since I've recorded a podcast, but I wanted to talk to you about something that I'm super excited about. So this week's podcast is called Changes. We all experience change in our lives. This is no surprise. When I transitioned from the Coast Guard a little more than a year ago, I found a profession that I loved. Initially, I thought my calling was leadership development, and while my heart still is calling me to do that, I found that I was being pulled in a new direction. I do a lot of work for a local HR company. Most of my time is filled creating workshops and coaching executives on their behalf. I love working there, and I get my leadership development cup filled working with them. Because I get to develop leaders under their umbrella, I've decided to rebrand myself to coach a different group of people. As I said in the beginning, we all go through changes, and while I'm still going through a lot of changes post-military career, I believe this is my new calling. It's funny because I always considered leadership development my calling, and it was a natural fit for me to go into this field. But I quickly realized that the leadership market is saturated. Although very important, there are a lot of companies out there. There are so many companies and individuals out there trying to tell leaders how to lead. Some listen and some don't. Some have real life experience, but unfortunately most of these folks and most of these companies don't. Their experience was traded in for PhDs and master's degrees. And while it's important to have those degrees, it's not who I am. I traded my degree for a career that I loved. I'm seeking my degree, but I'm quite a ways out. The good news is that even though my company's client list is limited, those who have come to me have been looking for help in many areas that are personal to them. Now that I've recognized the need for change in my own business, I've decided to change my niche to include helping people achieve the impossible, freedom from who you are supposed to be. I took some time to answer a few questions to help me gain clarity in this area, and I'm going to review those for you now. So the first question I asked myself was, what's my story? Why me? I retired from my job because I felt a misalignment with my personal values and with the company's values. Everything was looking up. I made good money. I was home and I did what I loved. But I knew inside that I had to change. Something had to change. And I wanted to find something that I loved to do personally. So what do my clients feel? My ideal client is feeling stuck in their career, their life, and their situation. They want to do something that brings them in alignment with their values and do what they want to do, not what society tells them to do. They're tired of waking up every day and going through the motions because that's what they're supposed to do. What is my client's raw emotion? Fear, sadness, and worry. Fear from leaving what makes sense. Sadness because they are not being filled up. And worry because they don't know how logically they will leave their current job or whatever they want to do. If that's what they want. It doesn't speak specifically to leaving your job or anything like that. But currently, change their situation. They're worried because that's a huge thing to worry about. So what are they going through? My typical client is going through a period of silent but self-destructive behavior. Doing things they normally would not want to do, but need to experience a different emotion. My client does not want to hurt those around them, but knows that they can't continue on this path without causing harm to themselves and those who they love the most. They're going through a mix of emotions, all of which cause them to be stuck, and therefore they take no action. They do not understand why because they're high functioning and highly successful, but they hate what they're doing inside. That's the key here. I don't want to be a therapist. I want to help folks that are ready to help themselves, but they just feel stuck and have trouble getting out of their own way. Next question is, what do they want to create? My client wants to create a new life where they can own their emotions, who they are, and honor what their strengths are. They want to create a life where they love what they do and are no longer willing to sacrifice their sanity to pay the bills and do what others tell them to do or who they should be. Next question is, what do they know specifically? They know that they cannot continue on this path, not because it will do them great harm, but because their self-destructive behavior is for the most part kept a secret. They know they cannot continue on this path because it is not who they want to be. Owning that is the problem. Being upfront and honest how their desk job is killing them, or how they're sick of the same old, same old. So they seek refuge elsewhere. They know they cannot own their emotions because they're afraid of being judged. And finally, what's the framework? What's my framework? Who do I want to work with specifically? My client is a male or female, ages 38 to 55, basically mid-career, who is sick of holding their emotions in because they will be judged. They're frustrated because they're stuck in their jobs, that they hate and indulge themselves in self-destructive behavior. They're high functioning and get things done, but inside they're dying. So like I said, change is going to happen, no matter what, and we have choices on how we want to respond. When you're faced with change, how do you respond? Do you remain a victim to it? This is acting like the change that you are going through causes you to This is acting like the change you are going through causes you to go or do something that you don't want to. Do you avoid the change? This is steering away from the change. Do you change your situation? This could be as simple as leaving your job. Do you alter your perspective? This may look like seeing why the change was needed or why it is happening. Or finally, do you accept it? Plain and simple. Accept what is happening and move on. For me, I've realized that the change in this situation has me moving towards something that I love to do, which is ultimately to help people become a better version of themselves. With that, I will continue to send out podcasts and emails periodically with the hopes that if you're struggling or know someone who is struggling with similar issues that I spoke about, that you will hit me up. As always, I really appreciate the audience that I have and those of you who do listen. And I want you to take this and understand that change happens, and I am super excited about this. I love helping people, and I look forward to having you continue to listen to my podcasts. They're still going to be very similar, but it'll be a lot more inner work instead of outer work. How can you help yourself, versus how can you help others? Thank you. Have a good day.